Excuse me. Yeah, she paid and she been to court. Did you show the paper? Yeah, because we paid. Yeah, she paid.
Okay, so what do you think? I just drove down the street and just came over here?
No, sir, we're not saying that.
I mean, come on, you got to think about stuff now.
If she knew she was gonna get put out, she would probably have stuff.
To my understanding, but you have to justify why I'm here. Your only answer to why I'm here is a mistake. I mean, come on now, it ain't no mistake. This is a writ from General Sessions Court for this. Okay.
Girl, your stuff is gonna get put out. Yeah. It is sheriff, police, or something here to put everything out, taking pictures. Girl, I don't know. He said that some is the eviction, girl. I'm telling you, they can take everything out the house right now. Okay, here she go. Yeah, they need somebody to come get them right now as soon as possible. Cause she's on the phone.
Who's this?
Yeah, that's the owner of this house.
Hello?
He said the owner of the house.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
I have been paying my bill. I have been paying my bills, and I have paid that woman.
Okay, but here's the problem. Let me explain something to you. All I do is evictions. What? That's what I do. I don't collect rent. I don't know. I'm trying to explain it to you because I don't have no discretion. I don't have anything that you can.
I have been paying her. Ain't no need for y'all to take my stuff down. I have been paying that woman.
Well, you need to call General Sessions Court, man. You want me to give you the docket number? General Sessions Court is the one who issued this. A judge from General Sessions Court. You might need to contact General Sessions. General Sessions Court. General Sessions Court.
Give me the number.
I don't know if I got the number. Hold on. Let me see if I got the. You want your docket number? Yeah, you want your docket number?
Right.
That's the area. What's the area code? The area code is 901?
Yes.
She'll take your money and still put you at your house. It don't make no sense.
Now I'm gonna give you a docket number because they're gonna ask you for your docket number when you call.
Hold on, right quick.
If it's something to be paid, they can pay it. Oh, Lord
Jesus. You can send me that. You can send me that docket number.
No, I'm not gonna just tell you the docket number.
Okay, you said.
Did you hear the person in the background? And she was like, she gonna take your money and still put you out that house. Ma'am, it's highly unlikely that she took any money if she's already started these processes, as well as the fact that it's highly unlikely that this woman who's acting like she doesn't know how this happened and she paid her rent, it's highly unlikely that she wasn't already informed that this was going to happen. Because if they put in a writ of eviction, then that means that the judge already either told her what was going to happen, when it was going to happen, or she decided not to go to court, so she didn't get the information, and basically she's just allowed to be railroaded because you didn't show up to what you were supposed to show up for your obligation. That's really what it comes down to. Once the eviction process is started, they can't take any more money. So I highly doubt that they took any rent. Possibly, maybe there was some money in escrow or something and that got took. But I think she just doesn't understand the way that things go properly as proceedings wide when it comes to the courts. And, because it's highly unlikely that she took any money after she started the eviction process. Y'all, before we get into the next clip, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second. It actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype.
We've already started applying for new jobs. I just didn't want, to go silent and ghost you.
Honestly, I really respect that.
Hey, Abby. Thanks for calling. I wanted to talk to you about this month's rent.
Yeah. Hey, Jay. What's going on? Everything all right?
Not really. I just got laid off last week, and my partner's hours got cut. We're doing everything we can, but we're short this month.
I'm really sorry to hear that,
what?
honestly. You guys have always been on time, taking great care of the place.
Thank you. We're not trying to skip out. We're hoping this is just temporary. We've already started applying for...
Hold on. What are really the odds that both of y'all got hit at the same time? She said...
I'm really sorry.
Off last week and my partner's hours got cut. We're doing
So at the same time, you got laid off last week, and then at the same time, your partner's hours got cut. I don't know if I believe this.
everything we can, but we're short this month.
I'm really sorry to hear that, honestly. You guys have always been on time, taking great care of the place.
Thank you. We're not trying to skip out. We're hoping this is just temporary. We've already started applying for new jobs. I just didn't want, to go silent and ghost you.
Honestly, I really respect that and I appreciate your communication. Most people just try to avoid this. How short are you?
About $800. We can send a partial payment now, then catch up next month, maybe split it across 2 months.
Okay, here's what we'll do. I don't want to accept the partial payment because that makes it difficult when it comes to like legal matters, but you guys pay yourself the partial payment.
Partial payment now, then catch up next month, maybe split it across 2 months.
Okay, here's what we'll do. I don't want to accept the partial payment because that makes it difficult when it comes to like legal matters, but you guys pay yourself the partial payment, put it in escrow for yourself. But I need it in writing what the plan is to catch up. So I'm gonna need you to go ahead and email it over to me. I can give you up until like the 12th of the month. But listen, I really want to work with you guys. I just can't put my property at risk. So you have that 5-day grace period built in by the state until I can officially file. So I'm going to go ahead and exercise that 5 days. But just know on my end, we will start to get the process rolling after that. So Go ahead and use that 5 days. Catch up as best as you can, okay?
Seriously? Thank you,
See,
Abby.
look.
We won't let you down.
Listen, you guys have been great tenants. I'd rather work with you than start completely over, but just understand I have to abide by my process, okay?
You won't regret it, promise.
Thanks, Dad. I appreciate the communication.
We've already started applying.
I don't think she'll regret it now, because I think what that person was trying to do, they were trying to start a trend to where basically your money is due on the first of the month, but now they're wanting to start a trend where they can start only paying half on the first of the month now, and then paying the other half on the other half of the month. And then once she gets used to that little pattern, then they're going to move on to something else. And then, oh, I don't have it. And then next thing you know, you're going to be behind 6 months and you haven't got paid. I'm glad that like this landlord doesn't take any chances and doesn't wait. And I want to go back to this for a second. Really, it's just the beginning. So I want to go back to this part.
For new jobs. I just didn't want, to go silent and ghost you.
Honestly, I really respect that.
Hey, Abby.
I don't respect that. What's there to respect about that? That's what you're supposed to do. That's like your kids coming home like, just wanted to let you know, I didn't fail my classes. Okay. Like, they didn't even say they got straight A's or nothing. They just didn't fail. Well, what did you get? I got a D. I don't know if that's still good. Ma'am, I didn't want to ghost you. Oh, thank you for not ghosting me. I'm not thanking you for that. You're supposed to. What you mean? So by you not doing bad behavior, you're supposed to get a pat on the back for that? What are we doing? I didn't want to ghost you. Oh, I thank you so much for not ghosting me. Yeah, you better not ghost me. Well, I tell you. I'd have been like, yeah, that wouldn't have been wise if you would have.
Let me tell you about the eviction notice that got placed on my door. Let me set the scene for you. So I'm on my way home, almost home. My neighbor calls me. She says, "Hey friend, are you leaving us?" I said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "Are you moving?" I said, "Eventually, not right now." Why? Because I live in a townhome. Keep that in mind. So I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She said, "Why is there an eviction notice on your door?" I said, "A what? A who?" She said, "There's an eviction notice on your door." I said, "Ain't no way." Immediately, I log in that portal, and I'm like, "Ma'am, I pay my bills. Why am I getting evicted?" At this point, I'm convinced I'm getting evicted. No. So she's like, "It's weird. It doesn't have your name on it, but it's on your door, and it's your unit number." And I'm like, "There's no way." She said, "Do you want me to send you a picture?" I said, "Expeditiously, right now." So I look at the picture. Girl, it ain't even for me. But there is the same unit number 2 apartment complexes down. So whoever that man is, sorry to that man, you're getting evicted. So I snatched it off my door with the quickness and I took it down to the apartment complex. I walked in the office and I said, I live down here. This is on my door and I think it's for someone here. And she was like, oh my God, yes it is. I can't make this stuff up. So, Louisville Sheriff's Office, get your shit together. You had me thinking I was evicted and I'm not.
That's
Pay
crazy.
my bills. Let me tell you about.
Well, here's the thing. Whoever that dude was, he sure didn't come online and post about it. When I'm trying to find eviction videos, I don't run across a lot of eviction videos with dudes. So what we just found is there are dudes out here getting evicted. They're just not coming on here. Like, they're just taking it. They're just getting evicted and they're moving on and figuring it out. Because I don't come across too many straight men eviction videos.
Like, guys, when I tell y'all I've been through some stuff, like, let me show you something real quick. Hold on. Do you see this? If you know, you know. And I pray for people like that because I too know that experience of what it's like to be evicted. It is probably one of the most embarrassing moments to ever go through. You know, you worry about your kids being gone, being left out. It's just so embarrassing. And to be able to had overcome that, like, guys, when I tell y'all. Okay, so I had posted that I was having some landlord issues at my home in San Francisco, and I thought I'd share about like what the specifics of the situation because it's actually fucking crazy. And San Francisco landlords and property management companies, you're going to burn in hell. You're literally gonna burn in hell because all y'all do is play with people's literal livelihood. So around February, my roommates and I were like, gee, Willikers, it smells like paint inside of our house. What could that be? It's such a strong paint smell. My roommates and I were like, you know what? They did just paint the stairs outside of our apartment, so maybe it's the stairs that got painted outside of our apartment. We're like, okay, well, that should dissipate in a little bit. It didn't dissipate. It actually...
Before we really get into the crux, because it looks like the first couple seconds of this video, she really didn't get into it. Speaking about the woman who was mentioning the embarrassment of being evicted. I guess it can be embarrassing. My thing is, if I was getting evicted, I wouldn't have time to be embarrassed. Do you know what I mean? Because I would have so much urgency and like that would not be the concern. I'm not worried about anybody else. Like I really am I'm worried about me and my family because we're about to be really out here having to fend for ourselves and fend for our survival. How do you have time to be embarrassed? Like, really, I think what that speaks to is the priorities. You still prioritizing what other people think, and you about to be on the street with your kids. You worried about what somebody else finna think in their house, and your kids are going to be cold and hungry. How is that what we're thinking about? I wouldn't have time for that. I like to keep myself busy. I don't even have time a lot of times to get anxious about things because I have so much stuff to do. I think that's the thing. If you're really taking it serious and you're really about to get busy and get some urgency about the situation to ultimately resolve the situation, then I just feel like embarrassment should be the last thing on your mind.
Got worse and stronger. And if you have been in a space where a room has just been painted, you know that you got to air that bitch out. You can't be up in there. It's toxic. So we're like, paint, it smell like paint and it's really strong and it actually is feeling like really difficult to be there. I have a girlfriend, so I be at her house. And one night that I actually stayed at home, I said, whoa, I have a headache. Like, I actually don't feel well. What the hell is going on? We live in basically like a house, and there's 3 separate dwelling units in there. Our other
the other tenants within the building were like, we also smell something. Like, what's going on? This is actually getting out of hand. It got so bad to the point that my roommates had to get ground coffee and baking soda and leave it out in the apartment to absorb the smell. We're sending in maintenance requests to be like, hey, can y'all come and check on this? What's going on? To no avail. We're getting ignored until the fire department pulls up. The fire department pulls up. One of my neighbors calls the fire department. There had been several complaints. The fire department comes and they're like, what the hell is going on? I think y'all have a gas leak. I'm turning off your gas. Now, the fire department wanted to do an inspection of the space to actually determine what was going on, but they couldn't because they couldn't get a hold of the property manager.
Wow.
So they turn off our gas. They say your property manager needs to contact us. It's actually ridiculous that we can't get to them. We think you all have a gas leak. So my roommates and I are like, oh my God, we thought that it was whatever this paint-like smell is. It now turns out that it's actually a gas leak. Fast forward, fire department finally gets in contact with the management company. They come, they do an inspection, and there's a room that they can't get in. They smell the smell from this particular room in the garage, but the door was locked and nobody has the key. You want to know why nobody has the key? Because the original landlord died. He died and he was the only person that had the key. RIP to that man, but that man died and he didn't tell nobody what the key was. But also the property.
Yeah, that's a problem, man. Where you have a whole apartment complex and you're the leasing company and nobody can get a hold of you. That's just negligent in my opinion. It sounds like they don't really want to hire a leasing team. Like they're trying to save that money and they just want to just make all the money just off their properties. No, you have to still invest in a team to be able to maintain this, because you got situations like this. How the fire department can't even get a hold of you. They have whole dispatchers that are able to handle that for them. So if the fire department is saying they can't get a hold of you, what they're ultimately saying is that the dispatch couldn't get a hold of you, which is that is insane. Your apartments could be on fire for all you know, and nobody can get a hold of you. Nobody knows who to call.
Property management, like, y'all should have access to the building in which you're like controlling for somebody. So they can't get into the room where the smell is coming from. They finally break their way into the room. And mind you, this is also the same room that has our furnace. Right. And what do they find in that room? Wow. Not a gas leak, but 7 cans of paint thinner that have spilled and or have rusted. I actually don't know fully because I don't have the full story because they won't give us any information. So turns out this paint thinner has been literally like spilled into this space, and it has been emanating into the furnace and going into everybody and circulating throughout the entirety of the building. Just circulating up into people's vents, just circulating. I'm like, no wonder I feel lightheaded and have a headache. Oh, because I've been literally inhaling toxic ass paint thinner for God knows how long. We actually don't even know how long this has been happening. So me and my roommates are like, okay, well, what y'all finna do? And they agree.
So you want to be a landlord. Let me tell you something. You got these people inhaling paint thinner to where it's getting pushed through their air conditioning unit and everything. Like a Resident Evil infection. You got them just inhaling away. Man, you're going to have to pay these people like how the military pays people, where they pay them for the rest of their life for certain injuries or certain things that they don't went through, because you're not going to tell me that sustained exposure to toxic fumes or gases isn't going to have long-term effects. And it's not even about the long-term effects. I don't know what effects it's going to have to me. And just for my psychological torment, I want to get paid for that.
They ignored us for like 2 weeks. They like cleaned out the room, and when we were like, hey y'all, the smell is in here, we actually can't live here right now, they like didn't give back to us. And we were also informed like don't use the heater at this time. Okay? Because if you use the heat, you're only gonna make it worse, and it's toxic. You can't do that. And if anybody knows anything, especially in the wintertime, one thing tenants need is heat. Absolutely. So for many reasons, aside from the fact that they needed to clean up a toxic spill and we had no heat and our gas was shut off for a short period of time, the space was inhabitable. But they ignored us for a little bit, and they ignored us until we got in contact with the landlord ourselves, like the actual landlord, because we were just in contact with the property managers. We couldn't get in contact with the landlord. Like I said, the original landlord had died, but he obviously, like, the building lives within his, like, family. We get in contact with that guy. He starts off being pretty helpful, and he told us that he's going to give us, like, some rent concessions and things like that. And then the tune started to change a little bit. How did the tune change? Well,
oh, they're trying to don't take it. You need to get an attorney. You need to get an attorney. They neglected this. I mean, I get that the other landlord passed away. They're talking about we're going to get some rent concessions. Yeah, I want a lifetime of rent concessions. You got me inhaling this type of stuff. These fumes had my life at risk.
He gave my roommates a release, and he said, y'all need to sign this release that basically says that me and my family are not responsible for what happened.
What did I tell you? I knew it. They're trying to scapegoat out of the situation. That's why I told you she needs to get an attorney. Because if they're going to make you sign a release, if it's that deep, that lets you know that they understand how bad they done effed up. This is a very legitimate case. I'm usually not in favor of just people always just suing willy-nilly. No, you have a legitimate case, and you need to explore that.
And in return, we're going to give y'all rent concessions. We're going to give you a couple months off rent. We should have months off rent because we literally cannot live there at this time. Like, it's inhabitable. And he admitted that on several occasions. And during this time, my roommates and I also discovered that if there is an eviction that has to happen due to capital improvements, which this would qualify as a capital improvement, you're supposed to get paid by the day that you cannot be in the home. And if it goes beyond 20 days, they actually owe you over $24,000. So me and my roommates found that information out, and we were like, that actually makes a lot of sense because we were displaced. We were displaced during this time. And we had to figure out where to go. We had to, like, stay with friends and family, but that obviously costs and crew. You have to start paying for your stay. Like, that's the way out here. So we're displaced. I have roommates who are spending thousands of dollars on Airbnbs and hotels because we literally cannot be in the home. And come to find out, in addition to not having to pay rent, we're also due money because we're being fucking, we can't live there. So obviously he sent this release and was like, we was like, we're not signing your release because the release is stupid. And why you literally did it, and you literally admitted fault on several occasions. And so now, because we didn't sign his stupid, stinky, funky release, he wants us to now pay for March rent, which is so stupid given that.
Nah, don't pay nothing.
We gotta live there in March. And on top of that, we're asking him and the property management company, because they are literally operating as one entity, y'all owe us this relocation money. We've been out of our home for this amount of time.
Don't pay. See, this is a case where I say don't pay nothing. Because let them go ahead and take you to court so that then you can bring the evidence. And then actually retroactively, you can go ahead and get justice on your behalf. Because I would actually argue that they should owe you back all the rent you've ever paid. Because I'm paying you to mess my health up. The agreement was I get an apartment and everything meets code. Everything is up to par. It's definitely not implicit that it's not implicitly stated that I'm going to be living here and like slowly killing myself, slowly withering away. You owe me all my rent back, and you do have to give me some time to be able to find another place. Ideally, you would pay for my stay somewhere else while I'm finding somewhere else. And I'm not signing a release for that. Like, that's just the right thing to do. Because your apartments are slowly killing me, unaliving me.
Time. Some people have disabilities. Give us the money, Yan, because you've been playing in our faces on several occasions. So now we're trying to negotiate in good faith, but they don't want to negotiate in good faith. And it's getting really difficult and really annoying and really stupid. And so, excuse me, on top of working a job and having a life, we now also have to deal with this bullshit. And ain't nobody got no money. On top of that, folks is trying to move out and handle stuff and get lawyers, and no one has no money on. And so we're reaching out to all the resources. Thank you to everybody who sent a resource my way. Reaching out to all the people, calling the lawyers, rent board, pro bono, this, that, and the third. We on it. We trying to handle it, and I will keep you updated. But just know I'm so tired. And my goal is to just document the process, because I'm like, I know that I'm not the only person who's ever gone through this. And so I'm just documenting it because I'm literally like, this is so stupid. Why?
Y'all just be out here just winging it, man. Just by yourself. See, get you a man. Let me tell you something. It's not that hard. There are attorneys that would take this case in a heartbeat and do it for free just to get a percentage off what you'll actually ultimately get granted in a judgment. And that's really not the smart thing to do. You would rather just pay one because you're probably going to get some good money. But she's sitting here trying to negotiate in good faith. What do you mean you're going to negotiate in good faith? They tried to send you a release form. Do you know what a release form is? Typically, when people try to send you release forms, it's like, if you get injured, I'm not responsible. If you get injured in my facility, XYZ, I'm not responsible. They're basically trying to get you for whatever's going to come down later with your health issues. I don't want to be held responsible, even though I am directly responsible. And you're trying to do something in good faith. That lets you know everything you need to see, but you're looking at the situation emotionally instead of logically because you're in it, and I get it. It's urgent. You don't know where else you're going to go. I trust me, I understand. But this is the short-sightedness sometimes that we see, where you need to think longer term, because honestly, you could really have some health issues later down the line, and that's going to come directly with a cost. So ideally, you would want to be prepared for that. Have you even looked into like what type of effects that this could really have on you long term? Ultimately, I wouldn't chance it. Get an attorney, at least consult with an attorney, just so you can see what your options are, because that's what they did, and that's why their attorney told them to give you a release form and just give you a cup. And that shows you how little they think of you. They didn't even try to make it such a great deal to where you'll sign that release form. Trust me, their only priority should be getting you to sign that release form. I would have gave you 12 months free rent if you'd have signed that. They said a couple months rent. They didn't even make it to where you'll hurry up and sign it and just take the deal. That lets you know that that's how dumb they think you are. So F good faith. You got to do what you got to do for yourself.
As someone who's been evicted not one, not two, but 3 times, I know a thing or 3 about a scarcity mindset. And what I want people to realize is that when you have these little discrepancies in your day-to-day habits.
Her caption says, I've been evicted 3 times. And I had to pay attention to small habits that I didn't recognize. You've been evicted 3 times?
You might not even notice it, okay? I was in a very strong feast or famine cycle. I've been a hairstylist for 19 years, so I was able to make a lot of money, but I was never able to keep that money. The things that I was doing that had me in a feast or famine cycle were things that you might not even notice that you're doing. For example, I would go to the grocery store, and right before I'm getting ready to insert my card or swipe my card or pay with cash, whatever, my body would tense up. I would be like, oh my God, this is $100 and I don't have anything booked this week and I'm not going to get paid until such and such day. What the fuck am I going to do? But I have to make money. So I would notice these little things and I'm like, okay, my body's getting tense. Guess what I'm doing? I am sending an energetic signal to my money, to my bank account now. Boom, I don't have. And so guess what I have to do? I have to stay in that cycle. A feast or famine cycle is basically when you can make a lot, you'll get a lot of money, but then you have to spill it right back out. Feast, famine, up, down, up, down. There's never any steadiness to the income, okay? Another thing that I was doing is that when it came time to pay a bill, I would do things like make payment arrangements, because I was like, well, right now, like I just can't afford the bill. I would have the money for the bill, but instead of paying the bill in full, I would do a payment arrangement thinking, well, if I just make a payment arrangement for $150 and then I'll have another $150 left, and then the next week I will do it.
And then she can go buy what she wants to buy. She definitely looks like a more plush, a more high maintenance type. So she's not doing it. It should be no secret how she got evicted 3 times. Just listening to her talk.
No, I'm sending another energetic signal to my money that I don't have enough. Money understands a frequency. It understands how you treat it. It doesn't understand that you need more of it. If you are sitting here saying that you need more of the money, guess what, beloved? You're going to get more of I need more money instead of receiving more money. You have to appreciate the money that you have now for why it's there and not be afraid of spending that money, because you're not spending it, you're circulating it, you're moving it. Let's say, for example, for me, I had to buy hair color. I have to pay for things so I can go to work. I have to pay my booth rent. I have to pay for insurance. I have to pay for my booking system. There's so many things that go into being an independent contractor, okay? But when it came time to doing these things, I would buy little bit by little bit by little bit instead of just getting everything that I needed for the week, because I thought, what if this client cancels? What if this happens? I had all these negative what ifs that were working against me. It was not working in my favor, okay? Even when I was facing those evictions, I was just like, how in the hell do I keep doing this? Like, I make the money, like, where's the money going? It's just going through my hands like water, not realizing that all of the things that I'm saying out of my mouth are literally what's being made manifest for me. And don't get me wrong, I understood at the time that there's...
Listen, man, it has nothing to do with what's coming out of your mouth. It has to do with your actions and behaviors and your habits. Okay? You're prioritizing things before you actually prioritize your basic needs for survival. And that's how you got evicted 3 times. She keeps talking about manifestation and all this type of stuff, and that money's on a frequency, whatever, and you got to manifest the money. At this point, you might as well just seek first the kingdom. I mean, goodness gracious. Y'all take this advice if you want. I can't listen to any more of it. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video. Hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button, then it shows the points. And since I am a smaller content creator, we actually get more points per hype. And then also Patreon's link below if you want to see self-improvement content as well. But until then, I'll catch you in the next video.